Hello Thrivers, and welcome back to Hypothyroid Chef. Today I'm so excited to share a simple, fun, and super healthy treat recipe with you, my anti-inflammatory Tart Cherry Gels. So these tasty little treats are not just delicious, they're also packed with health benefits that can help support your thyroid and your overall wellness. Plus they're gluten-free, dairy-free, paleo, and AIP compliant. I'm Jenny Mahar, your thyroid health and cooking coach. Let's go ahead and dig in. All right, this is a really simple treat or snack that's like a perfect marriage of culinary medicine and convenience. These are made with just 3 ingredients. So there's tart cherry juice, some grass-fed gelatin, and just a touch of honey. And they're also just a really fun bite-sized way to sneak some anti-inflammatory and gut healing goodness into your menu planning. I know growing up in the 80s, Jell-O was something that we ate a lot of at our house. If we had dessert at all, it was usually Jell-O. So this recipe is pretty nostalgic for me, and it's giving Jell-O vibes, but without all the added sugar and dyes and other inflammatory ingredients. These are actually super anti-inflammatory. All right, so let's go ahead and get started making our tart cherry gels. So what you're gonna need is 2 cups of organic tart cherry juice. You wanna make sure this is 100% tart cherry juice and unsweetened. You'll also need 3 tablespoons of grass-fed gelatin. This is what's gonna give the gels their structure. And then 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey. This is optional, but it is gonna help balance the tartness of the tart cherry juice. So first we're gonna take our 2 cups of tart cherry juice and we'll pour that into a saucepan here. And then we're gonna take our grass-fed gelatin and sprinkle that over the surface of the juice. So we've got 3 tablespoons and we just kind of wanna sprinkle that evenly over the surface of the juice. This is a step that's called blooming the gelatin, and what this is going to do is just help ensure that there's no lumps. It gets moisture into all the little particles of gelatin, and it's just an important part of using gelatin, which is kind of an interesting and very health supportive ingredient we'll talk a little bit more about in just a minute. But this is important just to make sure that your gels are going to be smooth and lump free. So we'll let that sit for about 5 minutes. It does look kind of wrinkly and weird. That's completely normal. So while we wait for the gelatin to bloom, let's talk for a minute about the thyroid healthy highlights of the ingredients in these gels. So the star of this recipe is really the tart cherry juice. And this is just an incredible source of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. So studies have shown that tart cherry juice can actually help reduce inflammation, ease joint pain, and even improve recovery after exercise. So it's like a recovery drink. And there are athletes who swear by tart cherry juice for muscle soreness. It's also used by people with arthritis or gout to help prevent some painful flare-ups that they might experience. I personally got turned on to tart cherry juice when I was dealing with frozen shoulder a few years ago, which is a condition that thyroid patients can be more prone to. While I was dealing with all that pain and inflammation in my shoulder, and then also going through surgery and recovery for my frozen shoulder, I started working more tart cherry juice into my diet. So I would do simple mocktails made with tart cherry juice and mineral water, or sometimes I would dilute a little tart cherry juice with some water and I'd put it in a wine glass so I could feel like I was enjoying a glass of red wine. And the other thing I did was I kept these anti-inflammatory tart cherry gels on hand to enjoy as a little sweet treat after dinner. It really helped. And if you're worried about the sugar in fruit juice, the cool thing is that it doesn't take a lot with tart cherry juice. Just 2 ounces, which is about a 1/4 cup, is enough to feel the benefit. So we really don't need to go high quantity here. So we don't need to, in turn go high sugar. One really interesting thing about tart cherry juice is that it's also a natural source of melatonin, which can help promote better sleep. And that's something that a lot of us as thyroid patients struggle with. So I was happy to learn that because that gave me another reason to feel good about having one or two of these gels after dinner to help me wind down in the evening. Just do make sure that you use unsweetened tart cherry juice. You don't want any added sugar in there or even other fruit juices. That can be kind of sneaky sometimes, where it will say 100% juice, but it's actually got like apple or white grape juice added, which is really just, they're doing that to add sugar and sweetness. So we really want 100% tart cherry juice. That's really important so that you can get the most benefits, and also ensure that you will get those benefits from just a small amount, like, a quarter cup or so, without having to overload your system with sugar. The other powerhouse ingredient in these gels is our grass-fed gelatin. So this ingredient is amazing for gut health because it contains amino acids like glycine and glutamine that can actually help repair the gut. It can help repair our intestinal lining, and leaky gut is a real problem for a lot of thyroid patients. So gelatin can help heal and seal the gut lining. It also supports our hair, skin, nails, and joints. You can get similar benefits from collagen peptides. I think of both collagen and gelatin as secret weapons, and I use them daily to get that healthy glow from the inside out, support my joints, support my gut health, support my hair growth, and all those good benefits. All right, so you can see that our gelatin has bloomed here. So next we're gonna add some honey to taste. Just give it a little bit of sweetness, and again, balance out the tartness of the cherry juice. I like to shoot for about 2 to 3 tablespoons. It doesn't take a lot, but I do find that the flavor is better with just a little bit of added sweetness. But you can adjust it based on your preference. If you're really trying to minimize your sugar intake, you can certainly skip this addition. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and heat this mixture over, we'll do medium heat. We're not gonna heat it up for very long. We're just gonna heat it gently and whisk it constantly. And what we're doing here is we want the gelatin to completely dissolve. So this should take about 2 to 3 minutes. We don't want to boil the gelatin because that can actually kind of break the gelatin down and prevent your mixture from gelling. So that's another kind of important trick when you're cooking with gelatin. You just want to gently heat it. So you can see it's kind of thick here. It hasn't quite dissolved those like granules of gelatin. So we're just going to keep stirring and gently heating until that is completely dissolved. Okay, I think we're about ready. I can see that this is a smooth liquid. It completely changed in texture. It went from kind of thick to just like a very smooth liquid. All of the gelatin granules that were like along the side of the pan have melted. So that's all the heat we really need. So I'll go ahead and turn this off, and we'll pour this into our measure. That's going to make it a little bit easier for us to pour into our molds. Now, once the gelatin is dissolved, we do have a couple options here. We can either pour the mixture into silicone molds like this one, or if you don't have something like this, you can just use a small baking dish like this one. So just pour it in, chill it in the fridge, and then you can just cut the gels into squares, or you could use a cookie cutter if you want to get fancy with it, but you do just want to chill those until they're set. I like to use my heart-shaped silicone mold here, and these are like a very rich, beautiful ruby red, so just kind of a fun little way to make these fancy. And since this is flexible, I do recommend putting it on a baking sheet just so that it's a little easier to transport in and out of the fridge without spilling. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this mixture into our measuring cup so that it's easier to fill our silicone mold. And then we'll just go ahead and carefully pour these. And I go just a little bit less than full here. Okay, so we're full there, and this is really sticky. Like my fingers are kind of sticking together from getting a little bit of that on there. That's a good thing. This is the same stuff that makes bone broth so good for our gut. It's the same thing that gives it really nice richness and mouthfeel. And it's from, basically rendering the collagen, elastin, and gelatin from the bones and connective tissues. So this is an animal product. These aren't vegan, but that stickiness is also very normal with when you're cooking with gelatin. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and then pop it into the fridge, and we'll let these chill for, I'd say, at least 4 hours, ideally maybe up to 6. I'll probably just leave them overnight and come back tomorrow. Okay, so these have been in the fridge overnight. They're well set, so now we're gonna go ahead and unmold them and give them a try. Again, if you just had these in like a Pyrex baking dish, you can just cut them into squares. It is a little bit trickier with the silicone mold, but the end result is kind of fun. So I think it's worth it, especially if it's, you know, for a special treat. So I've got a dish of warm water here. I'm gonna dip these in. That just helps them release from the silicone molds a bit. The other thing that helps is to just kind of pull at the edges, and that just helps kind of release that seal. And then we can just pop them out. And there you have it. It's hard to get an idea of the beautiful kind of garnet color of these. They're really gorgeous. They're kind of like a deep magenta, a little bit purpley, a little bit red around the edges. I'll go ahead and unmold these and then we can give them a taste. So there you have it, our anti-inflammatory Tart Cherry Gels, just 3 ingredients. These are so easy to make. They're just a perfect little healthy snack. They could be a post-workout treat. They could just even be a little something sweet after dinner. So I hope you love this recipe as much as I do. Let's give them a try. That tart cherry juice is really unique. It's almost got like a rich taste, and of course it has that tartness, but that little touch of honey really complements that. So they have a really nice kind of sweet and sour zing to them. But these tart cherry gels are just a great example of how you can use food as culinary medicine. You can use things like this to support your health while you're also enjoying just a simple little treat. So whether you're looking to reduce inflammation, support your gut health, or just enjoy something delicious and healthy, these are just the ticket. So if you're looking for more thyroid healthy inspiration, do be sure to grab my free thyroid-friendly grocery guide. It is packed with over 130 delicious, colorful, nutrient-dense foods that you can enjoy to feel your best and thrive. You can find the link to my grocery guide in the description below this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay tuned for more thyroid-friendly recipes and lifestyle tips, as well as my Thyroid Healthy Bites podcast. I'm Ginny Maher, the Hypothyroid chef, wishing you happy cooking, happy thriving, and the best of health. See you next time.